Hey all, it's your pilot Remick here to discuss crediting grades and gradebooks for the 21-22 school year. Let's start by just making sure you know what we're going to be covering during this presentation. At the end of the presentation, I'm asking that you send me an email that answers all 6 of these questions. So our presentation today should go through each of these questions. So you may want to just pause and record your answers as you go along, or you can rewind and go back through at the end to make sure you got all of your answers. So let's get started with what you need to pack for our flight number 21-22. You will be packing your individual course and all of the grades that come with it throughout the school year. Courses at WLA are either year-long or semester-long. If it is a year-long course, it confers credit at the end of the school year, whereas if it's a semester-long course, it confers credit at the semester mark, which is both at the end of Q2 and the end of Q4. Q2 ends in January, whereas Q4 ends in June. All courses at WLA are 1 credit, with the exception of those listed, which are only half a credit. Some of you may be teaching a double-blocked English or math class. These classes are only in the lower academy, so our 9th and 10th grade math and English classes may come across as being 2 credits, but they're actually 1 credit in the fall and 1 credit in the spring. So if you are teaching a double-blocked class, it's possible that your students will earn 2 math or 2 English credits by the end of the school year, but halfway through the school year, at the end of semester 1, they will have hopefully earned 1 of those credits. And then at the end of semester 2, they will earn their additional credit. All courses at WLA are on the AF scale, with the exception of those listed, which are on the pass-fail scale. The only difference between the AF scale and the PF scale is that A to F impacts the GPA, whereas our pass-fail classes do not. These are all of the graduation requirements at WLA. Students are expected to earn 24 graduation credits, but they will be enrolled in 32.5 credits over their tenure at WLA. So it's important when talking to students to make sure that they understand they need to earn 24 graduation credits. And these are the credits broken down by department. I've listed them as common credits versus WLA specific credits. Common credits are basically credits that no matter what school you may have taught at previously in Washington, D.C., these should be common across the city. So any student transferring to us will most likely have credits from other D.C. schools that fulfill these requirements. WLA specific credits are ones that are unique to us as a charter school. We expect our students to get 1 credit of computer science. Typically, this is earned during freshman year through the Exploring Computer Science course. However, students have a second opportunity to earn that credit through AP Computer Science Principles as a 10th grade student, or if a student transfers to us during 10th grade year, AP Computer Science Principles can count as the computer science credit as well. However, if a student earns their Exploring Computer Science credit in 9th grade, then AP Computer Science Principles gets counted as an additional science course. And you'll see that on the graduation requirements document that's linked above. Students are also expected to get 2 leadership credits. Leadership courses are taken in the upper academy. In 11th grade, they take seminar and SAT prep, and in senior year, they take research and college prep. So students must earn 2 credits, but they will be enrolled in a total of 4 leadership credits. And then they must also earn a half credit of internship. And what is linked here for you is the course catalog, so you can see some descriptions of each of these courses and also which courses actually fulfill each type of credit. And so these course catalog descriptions are broken down by department, and you can peruse this at your leisure. Great. Next, I wanted to make sure everyone understood the credit auditing process. I like to think of all of those graduation requirements as fitting into the puzzle that a student needs to fill in order to graduate from WLA. In addition, it's helpful for you all to have an understanding of how many credits a student needs to have in order to promote to the next grade level. So in this case, if you're a 9th grade advisor, you want to make sure that you're talking to your students about making sure that they have 5 credits by the end of this school year in order to be promoted to 10th grade. At the end of 10th grade, they should have 12 credits, and so on. So what I am asking you to do is find one of your advisees' MOUs, print it, and attach it to an email to me. I want you to demonstrate that you know where to find the MOU resource. That's why I'm asking you to print it and attach it as an email. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. On your main drive, this is my drive, you should have access to the Unicorn Herd folder. I find it helpful to have this link directly on my own drive so I don't have to search for it every time. So to do that, all you do is right-click on the Unicorn Herd folder when you find it and just click Add Shortcut to Drive, and you'll be prompted how to put that in a place where you will find it most helpful. So if I go into the Unicorn Herd folder, I click on the DRGA resources for staff. You'll notice that there are some other folders here. Deacon referenced this when he reshared out the Unicorn Herd folder. If there is something that you want shared globally with everyone at WLA, please make sure that it ends up in this folder structure. But for our purposes, you're going to want to go to the DRGA resources for staff, and then you're going to want to go to the 21-22 credit auditing. What you'll notice here is that you have each class, our seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, and then anyone from the class of 2020 or class of 2021 is stored in this alumni folder. So if you need to reference that, it's there as well. So let's pretend I am an advisor for the 11th grade. I'm going into the 11th grade folder. You'll see that you have access to all of their documents, but this credit audit sheet is actually the one that is the one we want to reference. This top tab looks pretty crazy, but it is what DRGA uses to create schedules. So don't mess with this top tab, just look at it and keep going. What I recommend you do is click on this hamburger symbol at the bottom. I like to call that a hamburger. It pops up the list so you can quickly scroll through and pick out any student to your liking, pick out one of your advisees. In this case, I'm going to pick out Christopher Eisen-Eibach. And what you can see on the MOU is that puzzle that Christopher is working towards. So we have our graduation requirements, we have the course name, final grade, credit earned, year earned, and then any notes. What I like to do in this notes section is if it's a transfer student, I'll let you know that it was a transfer credit. In this case, you can see that Christopher actually completed this through credit recovery this summer through our Recovery Academy program. You can also see what classes Christopher is in for this school year. Those are highlighted in purple. And so basically the conversation, if I were Christopher's advisor, I would be focusing in on what are the courses that you're taking this year that are in purple and how do they fit into your graduation puzzle. And then anything in this gray section, this additional credit section, these are essentially credits that a student either didn't earn, as in these credits where he received an F and 0 credit, or they don't directly fulfill a graduation requirement. They don't directly fit into our puzzle, and so they're an elective credit. In this case, Christopher is enrolled in Geometry A and Geometry B. That's our double-blocked math class. So that is why he will hopefully pass Geometry A, but if he doesn't, then he's got his backup class of Geometry B. Either way, if he gets both credits, Geometry A will count, and then Geometry B would just be considered an elective credit. All right, so I would recommend going through each of your students and then just pick one, hit that print symbol, say next. It will generate this window. Make sure you've selected Save as PDF. You can hit Save, and that's how you can send it to me as an attachment so I know you know how to find this resource. Great. All right, so now that we have an understanding of our credits and crediting and where to find that information so we can have good conversations with our advisees, I wanted to talk to you about how do we get to our destination? How do we get these grades? How do we get these credits? You all will be using Canvas as your live gradebook, and there's a nightly sync from Canvas to PowerTeacher that generates your grades into PowerTeacher Pro. But I want you to be thinking about the Canvas gradebook essentially as your ticketing station, because Power Teacher Pro is the security checkpoint. This is the gradebook that DRGA cares about the most. It's the one that is also viewed by stakeholders, which I'm going to be going over in a moment. And new this year, Power Teacher Pro is going to be the final say. No longer is DRGA going to go over to Canvas to see what you meant for the grade to be. So whatever lands in Power Teacher Pro, that's what we say the final grade is. And that's because Power Teacher Pro is what gets synced to Power School. And this is also viewed by our stakeholders. So it's super duper important that your Power Teacher Pro gradebook is the gradebook of record. So you can have all the fun you want over here, but this is the grade that gets viewed by stakeholders. This is the grade that ends up getting stored in quarter, semester, and year-long historical grades. So super duper important, cannot emphasize it enough. Power Teacher Pro, gradebook of record. Wonderful. So what does Remick mean when she says that this is viewed by all stakeholders? I am going to pretend to be Libby, and I'm going to sign in to Power Teacher Pro. Okay, great. Here I am. So it used to be that when you opened up Power Teacher Pro, there was a little backpack icon over here. This year they've updated that icon to be this blue index card. This blue index card will list out your students, and then when you click on the student's name, it will bring you to their quick lookup. What you can see in this quick lookup is actually the students' courses, the grades, and their attendance. Right now, since classes haven't officially started, you don't see any information here. But I wanted to show you then what it will look like when it's all signed in. So I have to sign out of Libby. I'm going to sign in as me. Whoops, I would help if I spelled my name right. I'm going to sign in as me on the admin side of Power School. There we go. All right, and for purposes of data, I have to make this the 2021 school year. I'm going just to select a student. We'll look at Mia. Great, I'm going over here to her quick lookup. So this is what you will see in Power Teacher when grades are actually in here. So what happens is as grades are inputted and as you do your nightly sync, the grades will generate here. It will tell you what the student's grade is as teachers are grading things in Canvas, because this is connected to Power Teacher Pro. So again, you want to make sure Canvas and Power Teacher Pro are talking directly to each other well, because it all ends up here. All of these data points are hyperlinks. So if I wanted to see how Mia was doing in quarter 2 in Shahid's class, I directly get into her gradebook here. I can see all the assignments. I see she turned this one in late. I can see what she was missing. I can see what she was excused from, and I can see her scores. So all of that is going to be super helpful for you when you're talking with your advisees about their progress in their classes, which is also another reason that you want to make sure that you're getting your grades done in a timely manner so that it generates over to Power Teacher effectively. I know some people like using the Dropout Detective on Canvas, but I think Power Teacher Pro gives you the same functionality by being able to access gradebooks, and even better than that, it also has the added benefit of showing you the student's attendance. So in this case, I can click on these absences and see all the times that Mia was marked absent in Mevs's AP Computer Science Principal class last year, which is also super helpful. So you guys are going to be taking attendance in Power Teacher Pro. So long as you're taking that meeting attendance, it shows up here, and it becomes a really helpful thing to have access to when you're having the conversation with advisees. Also, our parents now have their own Power School parent portal. They will see the quick lookup. So when you're having a conversation with a parent and they're like, hey, I don't understand why my student's grade is so low, and you know that you've marked them absent, my goodness, 43 times, you can say, hey, have you checked out your parent portal, because you can see all of the times your student was in attendance at my class. In addition, the attendance shows up on the historical grade record. So here it is, the final grade for Mia. You see she got a C-, and her absences are also here as well. So if ever a parent has a question as to why a student got a score, we can have that conversation with the attendance data right on hand. So again, important that your sync from Canvas is set up properly so that the grades for the quick lookup are syncing properly. And then also super important that you're taking your meeting attendance so we have that data point in conversations with advisees and students and families. Wonderful. Now that we've gone through that, I'm going to pause here and set up a second recording.